Okay, so we are back. We've done our screen grinding. Take a look at our levels. So this is all from worm killing. By the time we finished the previous session of Let's Learn, we were at the point where we could 2-turn kill sandworms, which becomes very critical because it means you are spending less time worrying about having to manipulate to get an auto attack or trying to survive earthquake. Now, something about sandworms is if you get a surprise attack, then they will spend the turn doing nothing, which means you can quick kill faster. When you have Nawat and Gaizan, you are doing 600 damage per use. So that is where the 2-turn kill comes from, because you are doing upwards of 800 to 900 damage per turn with double slash and flare factored in. And we have some very potent techniques now. Atu, which is a very good, lightning attack. Narez and Gaisar. For the most part, she's largely hit her limit on skills. And he's still got some more to get. We got 3 uses of Fest, which means up against the upcoming boss, we will do massive amounts of damage with Grand Cross. Also, he has the Nagata spell, which does AoE instant kill damage. That's a really cool name. And we got 3 uses of Saint Fire. So we should get rid of that macro. Or you have a different one. Now this is our anti-evil macro. It sets us up with Saint Fire, which does massive amounts of AoE damage to evil, as well as single target from Wren and Rika, but also the Grand Cross, which should do an immense amount of damage at this point in the game. Should be upwards of 600, maybe 700. So anyway, we're going to go to Kuran. Make sure to explore around. There are useful items for Wren here, as well as a weapon upgrade. Or I should say a skill upgrade. Much like Demi, Wren will find skill upgrades in certain machine areas like this. And there we go. So this is very useful combined with the Candle for wiping out machine enemies. Let's see if we can actually pull it off here. He's got 2 uses right away. Okay, so we didn't get to do it this time. It's actually a very useful ability. And when you deal with machine enemies, in an upcoming area on Dezolis, we'll have a great farm spot, and it'll be really useful to have anti-machine setups for it. Okay, so we're going to set the macro. I want to show it off. This area, this is not a bad idea to have some kind of AoE setup. Screen clear. Insta-kill! Don't worry about using it because the boss is evil. Well, it will be vulnerable to, exorcism stuff. How nice it would be if you go more than 2 steps without a fight, you know? Hey, didn't want to do that. Ah, this is a good weapon for him for a long time. This does fire damage. So if you're against a fire weak enemy, just pop, blast him with autos instead of wasting valuable, skills on Wren. Alright, so here is our another major roadblock boss, Dark Fall, Force. Now he is evil aligned, which means we can blast him with the good stuff. See, 600 damage. So I was a little bit off on my estimate sheet. You get a mid and late game gear, that number is going to skyrocket, especially when you start hitting the late 30s and early 40s. That'll be your main ability against evil monsters. Blast them with the anti-evil stuff. See, we're doing over 1,000 damage per turn. Around, well, I want to say 1,200. I didn't count the exact numbers. Now we are going to save that for when we get him back up. Oh, what? There we go. Don't worry about Wren going down. We don't need him for the macro. We need this. The repair kit, get Wren back in the fight. We want him to get the XP. Never mind. So yeah, Dark Fall Force will go down very fast if you're coming into this with the correct anti-evil abilities. And he gives out a good chunk of XP too to surviving party members. And now we start the Garuberk Tower arc. Now we have access to the Ice Digger. So this is a point where you're going to want to do some exploration because there are some areas that you want to go to, or at least get them on the, Rika meter. All right, so Dezolis, and you can also revisit Kuran if you missed any items there. Each vehicle will have different setups for SP as well as weapon loadout. They're intended for use in their native areas. Like the Ice Digger is intended for use here on the Dezolis, so that's its weapon loadout reflects that. Whereas the Land Rover is meant for Motavia, so again reflects there, and the Hydrofoil is meant for traversing, the water areas. Now we come here because this is an optional area. You can't go the entire game without seeing, but you come here, then you have a secret weapon for Mune. But, dude, okay, I gotta explain that. Mune is from Phantasy Star IV, and she gives out a weapon. However, the person you meet here gives a claw, and the Phantasy Star III character gives out a claw too. Hence, slip of the tongue. We have not sold off gear in a long time. So, yeah, we should probably do something about that. Muscat is relevant because is something we have not seen since Phantasy Star 1. In the sense of the player, a Phantasy Star veteran would not have seen this since Phantasy Star 1. And it is highly, highly implied that this is Meow from the first game. How he got here is a really good question. See? Because the party is the chosen party, hence a successor to Rolf, Elise, and this is an optional weapon for Rika that's very good. It has the a chance to randomly, randomly slay evil characters, except for bosses. Alright, so that is the Myst Vale, and that is something you want to come here early to get, because this is a weapon. This is a weapon that, I'll be honest, you can use this weapon to the end of the game, because there's a lot of evil enemies between now and the in-game sequence, where it effectively, the bonus on it will effectively nullify any mechanical advantage and stat-wise that you get from doing double of the same claw type. That it is that powerful. So we're here at Zoseph. We're going to hit up a store and sell junk. You have no space otherwise. And you can get elemental weapons here. I would suggest one toward, either a Thunderclaw, which can be useful later on, or a flame sword, depending on how thrifty you feel. I had to sell the level 2 medicine because honestly at this point you have way more than enough healing between, you know, Chaz, Rika, and even Rune. So the medicines are kind of losing their importance, except for the dues. Always keep dues around. Those are two powerful items. Again, remember what I said about this game being harder than Final Fantasy because of the lack of free access to Resurrection. And this is a decent upgrade for Rune, so you might want to consider grabbing one of these. Generally speaking, you're not really bad off saving your money for the upcoming store. I can't remember seeing if they ever actually doing something. Oh! It's a guy with a little Easter egg. I can't remember actually buying that stuff before. These guys out here breeding stuff like it's Jurassic Park. Alright, so if you come here to Reshel before it's cleared, you'll have a zombie attack. Notice the area is smashed. This does get, become a shop area once you've cleared it. Where the reason why it's messed up. And here is an enemy from earlier in the game. Remember, he's weak against fire. Wait, was he weak against fire? Yeah, whatever. Nope, it's water. Weird because, yeah. He originates from here, which means he should be resistant against fire. Sorry, resistant against ice, but weak against fire. A little tougher than he was back in the Ladia Tower. Better weapon for Wren. So this is an entirely optional area. I suggest coming here anyway because you do get some special stuff. At least if I could show you this if we didn't keep getting swarmed. yeah, I didn't want to do that, but whatever. Let's just kill him. In the ass. And here we have a boss. Now this is an optional bit, but this does give you a hint that something's going on. And since this is an evil creature, bam, hit him with the good stuff. One turn kill. Quote, boss, unquote, boss. Wait, shit. Yeah, you know what I mean. Quote, unquote. Alright, let's get out of here. Well, we could if we didn't keep getting stuck in battle so much. Anyway. Need to double check where his next weapon upgrade is. I'm pretty sure we can actually access it. Whoops. Well, let me go look at him up real quick. So there should be 2 upgrades on Dezolis that he can get. Oh, yeah, there's one on Dezolis and another is actually on Motavia, but we can't access that area right now. Yep. So yeah, it's not in this area. It is, however, in another optional area entirely. Let's get out of here. Put that before I forget. Alright, so don't go into the inn because this will cause story to progress. The item shop is closed for all. This is actually where you can get moon dew and all that. Want to avoid that right now because need him just a little bit longer. Reflect Mail is very potent gear at this point in the game, so I would suggest getting at least one. So now we're going to continue exploring the rest of this area. Jesus, man. This is honestly, I think, something that was a huge problem back then. It still is now. The jacked up encounter rate. So this is just where Gumbious Temple is. You're going to be coming here real soon in the story. There are no merchants around here. Oh, there's one, sorry. Here is your major upgrade. This is why if you go to Myst or Zoza, you can see those weapons, but here is where your actual upgrades are. These are the big boy weapons for this part of the game, and it will be very solid upgrades for a long time. And it's worth it to consider finding an area to grind out money in, because this is a huge upgrade. And you can see collect mail just like the other shop. And here we have level 3 medicine finally. But we're not done exploring yet, because there are a couple more locations to find. What's up? Jesus, man. Seriously, you cannot go more than 5 steps on a battle. It's annoying. I think that's what one of the big turnoffs of younger gamers to some of these older titles is the counter rate jacked up. What's interesting here is, technically speaking, you should be allowed entry because of Rune's presence. However, you cannot enter here until you have Kyra. Now that we got this mark unlocked as a teleport location, we're going to go back to Jut. There's one more place you need to go on Dezolis. It's better to do it now while you have Raj in the party, because it makes it easier. Fine, we'll fight just to get you off our ass. See, was it worth bothering us for this? Here is an optional area, the weapon plant. And this is where another upgrade for Wren exists. Now, Wren says that, but if you go in and explore, there's stuff to get. So let's get him back up. Alright, so what's up? There's 2 reasons to come here. One is that it's a very good level up spot. The other is for Wren's first rocket, which will be very useful because they are flame based. They do, and combined with Flaylai, do a massive amount of fire damage. And there are some upcoming enemies that are weak against fire. Oh, shoot, I wanted to show, okay, so this is an interesting spot. First off, let's see if we can get that combo again. Okay, so if you remember how the infant worm was summoned a sandworm? If you only kill one of these, it leaves a wire dying up, as well as an arthropod. They combine to become a new enemy. Megazord! This is the Lifedeleter. I remember I mentioned it in the previous session, but this is a very good enemy. You can quickly kill them with Circuit Breaker or Spark. And look at that. 2,500 XP of all people alive for very little expert, as well as 1,000 setup. And in the Valhalla Fortress, which is a late game area, these guys come pre-assembled as the Lifedeleter, so late game farming is intense with it. Okay, we need to go in the other area because that's where the chest was. Of course, we didn't get forced into a battle every, literally every 20 seconds, 15 at most. The counter race just berserk. So, if you find that you are able to escape by Dark Forest and Kuran, but you are struggling against the sandworms, here is your other alternate leveling spot. Because these guys will get you up there quick. There's the burst rocket. Oh, no. We didn't want to retreat. We wanted to kick his ass. By kick his ass, I mean insta-kill. Another upgrade for Wren. So for the most part, when you go into the machine, plants like this, alright, so as I was saying, you go into areas like this, you are always guaranteed to find stuff for Wren. And if you do it before the Kuran arc, you'll find stuff for Demi. So basically, plate systems will have Demi gear. Any other machine areas like this will have stuff for Wren. And more upgrades for Wren. It's good because Wren's upgrades can only be found. You cannot buy Android gear. And here, if you go use that console, you can get some free repair kits. For the most part, you're going to be drowning in repair kits, especially if you aren't dying a lot as Wren. Alright, so basically, Wren will say it's, there's no point in trying to go to the nerve center. I don't think it actually existed. I don't remember it existed, but there's no reason to mess around once you've gotten its, the gear drops as well as first rocket. So we're done here. It's also, again, useful to know that is a very good level up spot if you're struggling against sandworms, which at this point should not be. But if you get to, if you get to this point, low level, and you can't handle the worms, go here instead. But it's actually a great grind spot if you need the money. So it has that going for it. Sandworms are still better. Where's that? Oh, there it is. Sandworms are better for XP because you 2-turn kill them at this point. They give out immense amount of XP even with 5 people out. Whereas this, that is better for money grinding because, 1-turn kill for low effort and 1,000 Missable. That stuff adds up very fast. Now we've gotten all the towns here for the most part. There are no other ones on Dezolis. We're gonna run in here real quick to replenish. Now I want to show an early Garuberk tower. You're not supposed to go there before the story allows you to. However, try to go early. And he mentions this, but you have no way of knowing you can do that. You might think, oh, it's time for some cheeky leveling. Nope! These are permanent respawning and you cannot kill them ever. And if you try that, you get the normal battle screen. Jesus, man. There's nothing to do except go to Myst. Also, I was wrong. It was not the inn, but actually the tavern. Wait, wasn't it? There's supposed to be an upstairs area. Ah. So first off, you need to go ahead and unequip Raja. He is about to lead the party. Sell his stuff. And somehow he got infected by the black energy wave. There we go. Nothing you can do here except just run. So it's the same as before if you try to get there early. Technically speaking, they do use cryogenic hibernation at some point. So let's talk about Kyra. Kyra is your secondary boomerang user. He is the one you would want to save the laser slasher for as a free upgrade because she starts a slasher and a reflect shield. Notice she has some of the same techniques that Elise had. However, she's kind of more of a mix of support magic as well as healing magic. And a little bit of offensive magic. Notice she gets access to Flay Light. And Medivh is an interesting spell. Basically healing. So for the most part she is quasi replacement for Raja. At the same time, she's not nowhere near as powerful as Raja is in that field. She's kind of all around. And notice she has Flaylite and Hewn, meaning any macros you had set up for that, she can replace Rune in them. Overall, Kyra is like number 3 best choice for in-game sequence. In the in-game sequence, you'll be asked to pick a 5th party member. And number 1 is obviously Raja, 2nd is Demi, Kyra is number 3. I would say Han is 4, Rice is 5. But we'll go into the reminder about the in-game sequence when we get to that point. We're about, I want to say, 7 hours away, because you can clear the game in the 40s or so. Now make sure to explore the Esper mention because there's some nice loot here. And they don't mind you taking, apparently. Where was it? There is a chest in here somewhere. I remember that much. There it is. Upgrade for a rune. Ah. Oh, Soul Dude. That is the big boy dude. You need to go and sell gear off again. Item management is a big problem in this game, so make sure that you go through it. Sell gear. There's no reason to hold on to it most of the time. Doing double shield with him, so there's no point in him having that. See, this is something I was talking about just a few minutes ago, that we should have been able to enter the mansion with Rune. The guards outside didn't recognize him. Here, they do. So it makes you wonder, why the hell did Rune not say something? Again, the Elder recognizes him. Lutz is the name of the magician the Esper had in 2, Phantasy Star 2, who was kind of implied to be Noah from Phantasy Star 1. It was, I don't think it was ever really explained. It's been so long since I played 2, we didn't do it for the Let's Play at all. It was one of those things I did when I was young. This is your big exposition scene. Basically, he's saying every time Dark Force shows up, a hero steps up and takes him down. Now, in previous games, this meant the end of the game, because Dark Force was the final boss in 1, 2, and 3. However, obviously, he's not the final boss here. Means something is screwing the story, right? Here it explains why Dark Force was not the end of the story. And we'll be coming back here later in the game when we get Chaz's ultimate weapon. So the High Priest is a bit of an asshole. So this is a callback dungeon to Phantasy Star 1. The final dungeon of Phantasy Star 1 was the Air Castle where you fought Lashiec. Back then it was translated as Lashiec. However, that wasn't quite the final area. The final boss was Dark Falls, and that was in a different area than that. He was defeated by Noah, and that was in fact the first generation. So this game has an incredible amount of callbacks to 1 and 2, with very few to 3, which relates to what I said last session about people not being sure what 3's role is. Where it is in the timeline. Yeah, it could have been active during the time. It could have been active. It could have been held during the events of Phantasy Star 2 or even during the events of 4. It's a divisive title that, I talked about it in the last Let's Play video for it. Basically, Phantasy Star in name, not in actual spirit. Okay, so we're gonna teleport out. Basically, it's got very few Phantasy Star things about it. and you hear the tower music again. So the air castle here is a big stat check. You have no problem here because I think we're actually over leveled for this area. It is a very long endurance trial, but almost every single enemy here is actually evil aligned, so you can clear them out pretty easily. And there are some missable items here. I didn't want to do that. Seriously, the counter rate just... there are a few complaints I have about the game. It's the counter rate, and even then you can't really say it's the game. That was just a problem with the RPG design back then. And messed up encounter rates. So when you go outside, you will never get encounters. Only inside the castle itself. Dude, seriously, there's so many forced battles. Like if you just want to go from point A to B, you end up getting 20 battles in between. It's honestly, some might say it's clever. I think it's annoying. But it's basically the developers trying to make sure you are statted up for incoming battles. Look at it. Make us break up the big guns. Because he wouldn't leave us alone. Ah! Okay, so this is a powerful optional item for Rika. It has the ability to one-hit kill anything that's not evil, while the Silver Tusk has the ability to one-hit kill anything that is evil. There is a helmet in right here somewhere. You may have missed it, but it's called a Swift-Helm. Oh, there it is. Only Chaz can equip it, and it's actually pretty useful. Notice it boosts his agility, and it's rare to find an item that boosts his agility. Honestly, we could discard a lot of these repair kits. Wren should never be in a position where he needs these in battle, because he has his recover, which automatically full heals him. So they're kind of bait. Esper. Fine, you want to die so bad? Nova. Okay. Christ, man. Like, it's so obnoxious, the battle rate. I honestly think that might be one of the big turnoffs for younger gamers playing this, is the batshit battle rate. There's probably a modded version of quality life or something to put this, counter rate under control. We are literally getting hit every 10 seconds of combat. Yeah. Alright, so here we are at the boss area. There are two bosses. The first one is these three, and you have Lashiec itself. So blast him with your anti-evil. Notice how much damage we did with that. Oof. These guys hit hard, huh? Just restart the fight. Need to set up the macro. Sometimes it does that. If it does that, just yeah, we want a bit. There we go. So we did around 1600 damage within 2 turns because of how stupid cross cut with FS is. That's how stupid that the grand cross combo is against evil. That those guys could have been a very problematic combo. And we can take the shortcut out. Let's back and start and go back where they were before. And here we have the big maze of this area, which is, oh god. This is the worst part of the castle. I believe it was meant to simulate the final hallways of the original air castle. It's all one big linear path, but it doesn't feel like it. After a while, you could be going back upwards, and yeah. Be sure to grab the moon dude. This is a one-time visit area. Dude, Jesus, man. It forces so much combat. Yeah, that's big. Again, I would not stop criticizing how mid-90s and early JRPGs had this problem. Even Final Fantasy was really bad about it. I think it was 4, maybe 5, where they introduced the idea of an encounter none system. Jesus, man. They're hell-bent on making us fight. Christ, let's go. This is all I was talking about the Chaos Sorcerer. Now we're heading upwards. Okay, here's the area. Final area of the dungeon. Fill up everybody to as much high health as you can. So this is an interesting little thing you can do. You have to take it, and it's a fake one. And if you discard it, that happens. It'll automatically replenish it until you do. Do not use any spells on this. This is the second to last boss of Phantasy Star 1. Now, like Zio, he is a stat check boss. If you have not been grinding, you are in trouble with this guy. However, we are fairly leveled up for this spot, possibly over-leveled, not to a staggering degree. I would ideally suggest coming into this with over 35. At least come in here with your anti-evil setup. Okay, so it didn't go off. We need to check that and probably, mess with it later. Cast may be faster at this point, so we're gonna need to modify it. Barrier will be useful here. Alright. So out of the elemental abilities that he gets, Foy is the most effective. Ooh. Let's just go back, rewind, and have her doing healing. Damn, that goes very far back, huh? Now, I know what I said about repair kits, but this is like one of the very rare exceptions. Because we messed up and didn't have him pop, recover earlier. Oh, so you're just going to be faster, huh? And you're going to do that to us, huh? We definitely need to adjust that macro. There we go. Okay, so basically this is a turn where we go back and don't do this. Use a Moon Dew, actually. Wait, sorry, not Moon Dew, the Soul Dew. Wait, no, Star Dew, sorry. It's been a while since I've used those dews. Honestly, just keep cooking him will be best. Because our macro's messed up, meaning we cannot reliably get it. Gotta adjust it when we get done. This is a good place to start using dues. Now when he pops this, use the Psycho Wand. He hits harder if you don't. He usually uses this when he's low on hit points. And there we go. So he may seem, intimidating if you are new to the game, but if you're properly leveled and use the right abilities, he drops pretty fast. Look at that XP. Woof! I remember being so hyped the very first time I beat him because he was so hard and I didn't understand, a lot of things I did. And Lashiec says this, but we never see him again. I think he shows up in the MMO. I don't actually know. All right. Need to clear out inventory big time. We're gonna head back to Jut and gear up. You have a good amount of money to work with. And the things we really want to do money grinding for are not available just yet. What was that? There it is. Take note, not every shield can be equipped by rune. Okay, so here we are, Garuberk Tower. There are some missable items here, and this is a one-time visit area where you complete the objective here. Fine, if you're offering your lives, I'll just have to accept them. Definitely need to fix the macro. Get over here. In this dungeon, you're mostly going to be seeing level 3 Myst. However, there is a Kyra only weapon if you can find it. There we go. Now that we found a special weapon, we can freely move around. In a sense, we don't have to look for that specific one. You see, he has a nice little spike. Everybody correctly has a special ability, but I'm not sure. Oh well. And since Kyra's about to leave the party after this, you might want to hold on to it. Because when she comes back later, you can just give it to her again. Right, we decide to take it for the final battle. Redo. Right, we went the wrong way. So let's just use up all these free medicine. I don't want to discard it. Dude. Absolutely ridiculous counter rate. Wrong way. You'll be in the final area now. Yep, okay, so there's the boss. Let's top up real quick. Alright, we have our anti-evil set up. Blast them. Let's rewind so we can get a different. So if you haven't noticed, androids are very weak against electricity, so that includes Demi and Wren. They will take lots of damage from it. Alright, so we do about 1,000 damage per turn. And Wren doesn't get insta-killed. I feel like we should heal. Got bad feelings. Go ahead and be cavalier about using, Oof. I was gonna say, go ahead and be cavalier about using the Sa-Lews, because after this fight you unlock the merchant that has it. Oh, use your dues in general. Damn, man. Targeted the damage. That thing does a crap amount of damage, even to a decently leveled party. I think he's in, close to death. Done about 4,000 damage at least. Loves that ability, doesn't he? Let's just reverse. Why is he so fun to? I'd rather do the one-shot ability right now. He's obsessed with that, man. Look at that. Honestly, we probably should have put the barrier up. Wow, it did nothing. Let's just try to, finish him off. Nope. Yep, he is at a point where he is not dying. Maybe hit point critical. We can't really tell. Yeah, dude, it does so little damage to him. Wow. Anyway, hero Wren time. This is something I was talking about in the previous session, where you can just have Wren doing this over and over. As long as he doesn't get insta killed. Get his, use the turn recover. By being an android, he's immune to the evil eye, which is a sleep status. can't end up in a really bad loop. It alternates between nuisance abilities, man. There we go. Basically, you gotta keep tanking with recover and repair gets killed. Evil Eye. There we go. Free turn. Ah, you gotta turn off. So, yeah. Rewind, abuse it. Yeah, so that was not hit point critical, I guess. Oof. So this can be a pain in the ass if you're end up doing a solo Wren. Yeah, see, you just will not die yet. Much easier if you don't have your party getting wiped out quickly. Oh wow, we got really lucky. 2 evil eyes in a row like that. That's a 2 in a row? Nope. Still not dead yet, so rewind. Even with a decently level party, you still have to deal with these huge high damage attacks, so yeah. Yikes! Pretty much this is a nuisance build. Well, it's not nuisance build, I should say. Nuisance play for the boss. It really only works in versions of Phantasy Star IV that have to rewind, so you can just, you know, cheese and your way through it. Because honestly, they kind of had it coming. And notice the flare is slightly higher than an auto, so you can actually save your flare uses. You think it's actually kind of random whether or not you get that. No, it's not a pattern like Final Fantasy is. More like a actual RNG what it would use. So you can manipulate it much more easily. It's just a pain. How is he not dead yet? Put out about 5,000 damage on him. So yeah, you can see if you struggled with Lashiec, you are struggling. You are not clearing this guy. We didn't struggle with him. It's just the difficulty spike is not as obvious, mostly because the high damage from lightning, Shadow Breath, and how he always uses one or two of those. So I think he's hit on critical, it's just we cannot seem to get Evil Eye anymore. And him gets Evil Eye on it on Android is just amazing. So it's time to reconsider what are we doing. Soul Dew does revive as well as Moon Dew, but Stardew is only for living, people. This poor damage fight's supposed to be, yeah, meme item, right? But probably because it's him using it. I think our only option is just restart the fight at this point. So this is basically showing how the solo Wren strategy works, even though it's not really panning out here. Yeah, let's just reset the fight. Probably should just put up debuff then did that. I don't know why I said debuff, by the way. Oh yeah, now you decide you want to do that, huh? Frickin' clown over there. Because you're a clown nose, you earned it. Now we're gonna start using the really strong stuff momentarily. Bam! 700 damage. So we do upwards of 1,200 to 1,500 damage per round. You just got to survive that lightning shower. This does amazing amounts of damage. Why I'm saying you need to have that set up. Unusual. Should have been set up so it's guaranteed. Thank you for wasting your turn again. Basically, you just need to be able to tank the lightning shower. Can't worry about that. Oof. Too much insta waste, huh? You know, that actually kind of annoys me. We had less trouble just doing that than we did the solo Wren. No, I am not okay with that. But yeah, he dies quickly if you don't get overwhelmed by his lightning shower. So every time he pops lightning shower, mass heal, he up the pressure. So if you feel particularly brave, you can go into the battle without any items on Kyra. If you want to sell her the gear. Here is the next big arc, the Right Cross arc. So, but first we're going to go over to Reshel. Because now this town is back to normal, so to speak. And here you get Laconia Gear. First we need to clean up inventory. I suggest getting the Laconic crown at least, because likely you are going to be starved for expensive gear on her. Now, if you go back to Myst, the item shop there will be open. And yet here we finally have access to free purchasing of dues. Have at least a few of these. And this is where your big, money sinker will be going to. Make sure you have a lot of star dues. Notice the Gumbious Temple, it got flattened. Somebody out here committing crimes. And here you get you see the actual real boss of this game. Alright, now we get access to the hydrofoil. But first we're gonna see what's available. We can't take any more, but wait, actually no, we cleared that mission, didn't we? Yeah. So some more should be opened up by now. And we have all the remaining 4. So something to know about the last mission. If you do not take it when it's offered, by the time the in-game starts, it's automatically completed. You miss out on Wren's ultimate skill. So this is a point where you need to take these quests and get them done. Silver Soldier is the last one you're going to want to do. It pays a lot and it actually opens up a great level up spot. But first I want to point out, this is a 4-person party at this point, and you are remaining 4-person until the in-game starts where you can select your 5th party member. What that means is, this is the absolute best time to go and level up like crazy. I highly recommend that you do the rest of your in-game grinding now. Not to mention you are going to want to do the quests now and open up the Valhalla Fortress. So actually we are actually going to go and do that. And this is why it gives you a huge amount of money. It's the most profitable one. So if you take this quest and then go to Zima, you will get attacked. But if you don't take it and actually go to Zima, no problem. So yeah, a lot of damage, right? Where's the old man's house? Dead first in the back. There we go. Alright, so northeast. So this is the Valhalla Fortress, one of the best level up spots. But right now we're going to go and unlock the other areas first. There are 2 towns we can access now, which are the last 2 on Motavia. Assuming we could go more than a few steps without a battle. You don't see anything here in the place system indicating something's up, right? And this is a hint towards one of the other Hunter's Guild quests. Remember the 2 daughters we saw that couldn't pay their inn fee? Yep. God, the constant combat. I think we spent more time in the battle screen than we have actually playing the game. Doesn't help that I can't remember the easy location for reaching Torinco, which is where our last town is, but Uzo again. You know, I'm going to see if I can find a map. Because it's been so long I don't remember the exact location. We're going to be dealing with a hassle otherwise. I can't seem to find it. Ah, as usual, fan sites help. Okay, so Torinco is go to the machine centers due east. Wow. Well, dumb. Wait, that's right. We can just, yeah. There. Jesus, man. Thankfully, we got that option, huh? There we go, Torinco, finally. This is the location of another side request for the Hunters Guild. Now we're gonna go back to the Valhalla fortress. Oh, of course. Right, let's rest. Alright, what we're going to do here is going to do a little off-screen grind real quick, bring our levels up, because this is actually a rough area. The boss of the zone can be annoying. So we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so we're back. We did our off-screen grind. And I want to point out something. Here is a macro that you should be using. Spark, double Thunderclaw. That's, you have to have 2 different Thunderclaws, and Tendo. This will instantly clear the screen. And there's almost nothing in the opening area that will stand up to it. Oh, here, great example way to show it off. Well, so a little bit of, yeah. There we go. So the way the Thunderclaws work is they're single target Tando, but they will do a lot of damage to android enemies. And basically it works with Wren will insta kill one, and then most likely the other 2 will be cleared out. Since the Lifedeleter is vulnerable to Spark, you just use that to try and insta-kill and save yourself time. You can get 2,500 XP and 1,000 Meseta every time one of them spawns. So you can see how it just adds up very fast. And look how much money we've made since resuming. So this is actually a great point for money grinding as well as XP grinding. We're going to try to avoid battles at this point. It's just a 1 Lifedeleter or 2 use sparks. Ah, this here is Wren's ultimate weapon. So if you come here, you'll find ultimate gear for Wren, as well as his final ability. Oh, we ran out of sparks, didn't we? Yep. I didn't want to skip anyway. This is what I mean by look at him at level 39 versus the others. He has almost 1.5 times the hit points of Chaz at a lower level than Chaz, and way more than Rika at 45, and over twice as many as Rune. Wren by far becomes the big tank of the game. Ah, and here it is, Positron Bolt. It's funny he says that you can destroy Zalon, but it's pretty powered down. Let's see how many uses he has. Got 1 right now. Okay. Okay, here's the control room. Didn't find the Laco armor. Get down to use your new toy. Notice it's a pretty strong ability. And there we go. Easy completion. So this is an interesting Easter egg because of the way his name is spelled in Japan. Spelled as Wren. I want to see if I can find a map of this area. Hold on. Ah, there's a map. Yep, there is Laconia armor back in. Let's see. Oh, same place we found the gear, so we just need to backtrack. Of course, it helped if we could go more than 2 seconds without a damn battle again. And, you know, I know I'm complaining a lot about it. It's irritating, though. You just want to go from point A to B without hassle. The hell you say? Fine, you want to die so bad? In our damn time like that. There we go. Pretty much its ultimate armor. Now he's super tank. Let's get out of here. And the Valhalla Fortress is visible until the end game starts. Because at that time, it's considered stabilized. It tells you you need to cross the ocean. But this is a very quick quest. And we also have a clue who they were because we ran into them earlier. Years, damn! Those guys are hardcore. You basically make no profit here. But it's part of clearing them out, so... It's absolutely worth it because some of these are very, very profitable, or you give access to stuff you normally wouldn't get. Like we just saw a Silver Soldier doing that, gave us access to Wren's ultimate gear and weapon, was ultimate ability. Since we already took time to get it unlocked via map, easy peasy. And we already did, like I said, this is something you do when you go to Tierney the first time. This is the only time you can see him using a sword on a sprite outside of combat. Very quick and easy if you knew get the item ahead of time. Alright, one more to go. It's also a quick and easy one. Honestly, I would say either... Oh, let's look at the list. Yeah, I would say, honestly, Silver Soldier is the longest one. Also the most profitable one. Notice he's got a portrait now. If I remember correctly, Rappies are from a different Sega game. They're kind of like an Easter egg. great chunk of XP even split. Alright, so exit out, head back to Iodo, and we're done. Oh, not mean to go there. Wait, right. Aha! Why work harder when you can just work smarter? It's got a little bit interesting to see them take a cop to them. Alright, so now that we've cleaned up the side quests, there are no more Hunter's Guild side quests, which means we move on to a story since we are severely over level. But first, we're going to return to... Yeah, first off, we're going to go back and get Laconic Mail, because we have a lot of money. Oh wait, this wasn't it. That's right, it was Reshel, wasn't it? Got confused on which one it was, alright? So you should kind of hold off on some of the other stuff. Like, yeah, for some of these, we're about to get special upgrades for helmets. For some of the units. You know, some of the characters. They can largely ignore the helmets at this point. Alright, so we got that, now we move on to the story. Go ahead and strip him of gear. Oh. Equip inventory again. Notice he has Laconia Gear and stuff you can't find anywhere else. get rid of the excess repair kits. Sometimes when find an android enemy to get them as a rare drop. At this point, you don't need these medicines anymore because you have access to lots of money and access to the perfume store. So these will be your main item healing. Alright, so it's a pretty short area. You'll know you're going in the right direction when you see dialogue from Seth. Seth is an interesting person. Notice his abilities that nobody else has, whereas at least some overlap existed with the others. No techniques and only skills. That's one of many warning signs that somebody's up here. In case you're wondering, no, there is absolutely no reason ever you should give him upgraded gear. Hell, we aren't even going over his abilities. That's how irrelevant this guy is, okay? And another clue that no, he is not sticking around. Didn't mean to do that, but whatever. Kill them all. Absolutely waste of time. Like I said, warning sign. Surprise! Final Dark Force encounter, unless you count the special random one in the final dungeon. We'll talk about that in time too. But use your standard anti-evil. We're still doing tremendous damage. So we are doing 1,000 per turn, meaning by the time we run out of fast, Dark Force should be really close to death. Doing over 1,000 per turn. Okay, we need to do a recovery turn. Recovery turn. Oh, wow, you managed to get it off in time. Ah, so it's gonna be like that. This is why we have so many Sa-Lews. Even if you come into this fight in the 40s or higher, it does a crowd amount of damage still. Alright, so let's back up a bit. Jesus, man. Yeah. You set that turn. God damn, man. It'll be like that. Got to fight a bunch of it again. Now he decides he wants to do that. I'm telling you, this guy's inconsistent. Wow, we actually ran out of crosscuts. Huh. Oh, right. He's out cold right now. Shit, man. Start it. That's now you want to protect, the mage. Yikes. And now it's a finishing blow, too. So yeah, that's the last full guaranteed Dark Force encounter. Honestly, he's way easier than the Dezolis encounter. Just because that guy, by the time you fight him normally, even with some levels, still does an amazing amount of damage. So this is one of the bigger twists of this lore at this point, that there was a fourth planet that shows up only when the profound darkness is ready to break through. Make sure to explore around. There's a nice little loot to grab. You can't equip that, yeah. This is honestly just a temporary upgrade, because you are going to get his ultimate weapon after the events here. So it doesn't matter which one you go to first. There's also a third one here, but you cannot access it until you complete the other two. He gets pissy if you try to go in there when you're not allowed to. Wasting our damn time. Want a refund on our skills. Make sure to loot the place. You can come back and revisit this later. Oh, I was actually wrong. This is where his ultimate gear is. So the guard line is the final, ultimate, armor for each character. Jesus, man. Alright, so every time you get to the top of the two towers, you will see a mini cutscene here of this. Of the Guardian being challenged by monsters. Now, he is not an evil enemy, so your evil macro will be useless against him. Just use your strongest stuff. Also note, he is throwing hands. Notice he takes no damage. Yeah, he's that guy. So Rika is going to be doing a lot of healing in this battle. So he's got fire immunity. Ooh. Notice you can just straight up target units that you freshly revive. Yeah, he's that guy too. The same crap that Square is pulling in their games. Friggin' ow. Have him recover. Oh, not mean to do that. See that thing did almost no damage. And down he goes. So these are special, gears. There it is. So special helmets. These are required for the story as well as give you some mechanical bonuses over any other ultimate slot. So this is effectively your ultimate gear. Notice you get one for each planet. Notice there's one for Rykros. It's in theory you're supposed to give it to your final party member. However, none of the other party members can actually equip it. It's theorized, it's been a fan theory for 3 decades now, that it was intended for release, but the developers never programmed in the ability for anybody else to equip it. So it was intended for her. It's pink in here, isn't it? You know, there's nothing wrong with that, just an observation, you know? Somebody went all out on pink. Must have been listening to Aerosmith. God damn it, man. I just want to go more than one step, you know? Here I am trying to show all this area off. This would not stop. If you, for some reason, you want to give Rune a weapon again, you're better off just give him double shield. And you can give Rika double, yeah. At this point, you don't really need Silver Tusk, but you should keep it anyway because it has the ability to cast a spell. Rika can cast the Fess. Make sure it's safe. We're just going to look at the item real quick. I'm sure it did something. Let's check. Stay here. Well, I was sure he had a special use, but I'm sure it's whatever. At this point in the game, he shouldn't need it. Jesus. Do it that way. The game is very stupid about forcing us into combat every 3 steps. There we go. Top of the area. Notice we got recharged. Notice no damage. Yeah, he's that guy too. So for the most part, Must-Lees is physical, whereas the other one would be doing mostly magic. Bro. Alright, so we're just gonna do that because you want to be cheeky. Seriously, seriously going to do this. Fine, we'll make him the other one do it. Alright, back healthy again. And down he goes. Hey, why are you walking down? Get the hell out of here. Kind of funny how it's sped up. It sounds like a jazzy version of the theme. Alright, so here we are about to get the ultimate weapon. I've never learned how to pronounce it. May want to consider swapping his weapon out as well, because it will override whatever he has equipped. would say this is Elcidian. Sidian, yeah, maybe Elcidian is the right way to say it. It's the ultimate weapon for a Chaz. In a game that has very few actual ultimate weapons in the sense of, it's not like Final Fantasy, more like Best of Slot. A little different from ultimate weapon. Because when you think ultimate weapon in the Final Fantasy sense, you are not going to just straight up buy it. You find it. And the statue is, at least from Phantasy Star 1, and it's implied that this is her actual sword from the game. If I'm remember correctly, you can only go up to Laconia sword for that one. And here you get a recap of previous games themes. The Phantasy Star 1, Phantasy Star 2, and that, Nate's Death, which we referenced last episode. And you can see they skip over 3, which leads, credit to the theory that 3 is actually happening right now, meaning they can't come back. They haven't actually died. The hero team of that generation. Plus, 3 had multiple teams for the last battle. So, yeah. There was no canon team since you had a different protagonist each generation. Now, if you didn't do the Silver Soldier mission, at this point it'd be permanently locked off. Now it says, the story says go back to Motavia, but we are not quite going yet. Well, we get forced to as part of the story. So yeah. So first off, we're going to talk. We'll talk about the each option after we get access to the party control again. But rather, we're going to talk about it soon. Right now, we need to go back to Rycross. Everybody just waits there until it's time to go. Can actually go into the final dungeon without him if you really want a super challenge. Why do that unless you are crazy tryhard, right? Jesus Christ, man. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but it's so annoying when you just want to go from point A to B. Yeah, now he's got lack of attitude, huh? Second suit of guard mail if you really wanted to give her a set. And notice we have Elcidian, but we don't have the plasma sword anymore because it overrides it. So if you know it's coming, you got you unequipped and then keep your previous weapon. So the anger tower is extremely short. And we have some screwy stuff going on here. Take note, this is the absolute only time in all of Phantasy Star IV that you will see an enemy player character as an enemy. And this is only in an optional area. I would say all Phantasy Star in period, but Phantasy Star 3 has multiple instances of where a party member is an enemy. It's also an extremely quick fight, so just... yeah, she does almost no damage. Just use your best techniques. There we go. And note, unlike the other two Tower Guardians, he has a portrait. Save. So this is a sucker bet. Not a sucker bet, but basically schmuck bait. You are not supposed to say yes. That's why. Basically, he will cast midget on you over and over and over and over, and it causes game over. So this is required in order to access a secret combination attack. Each Phantasy Star, well, starting in, I believe it's first started in 2. It's definitely in 3, but there is a secret, usually a secret to unlock a midget. It has different names depending on the game, like Megiddo, and Phantasy Star 3 is part of the story. That the final dungeon gets blown up in a fit of rage by the hero. Oh, crap. Didn't want to go there. Why did I click that? Alright, so let's talk about the final battle. Alright, so you cannot equip the Rikros ring on anybody because, again, is theorized heavily that it was intended for release, but then her role changed to where she died early on in the story. Now, let's talk about who to pick. Bryce is the worst option in the sense of he brings nothing but more damage. And at this point, you should already have enough damage between your four characters. He also brings no support skills, nothing other than being a meat shield, which Wren does better. Han actually gets custom gear now, and only he can equip it, and he's still kind of mediocre. He does have access to more abilities and such by this point. However, he's still an inferior healer, inferior mage, and he's just kind of there. Kyra is number 3. She is not necessarily bad, but she's not necessarily good either. He brings range DPS, so to speak, and some extra healing and some extra offensive magic, both of which are severely outclassed by Rika and Rune. Demi is number 2. She is amazing because she will have as AoE resing, and she can stun lock some enemies, and she has some support abilities on top of being an android, which means she does not necessarily require healing. It self-regenerates just like Wren does. Wren, sorry, Raja number 1. Raja is like the absolute best pick. Remember what everything he was doing when we went to go deal with Dark Force in Kuran? Yeah, he's still doing that, but better now because he has been leveling up and he's got access to more gear, access to more uses of his abilities, and he's absolutely the best. If you find you are struggling to clear a final battle, take Raja. He will ease up the pressure big time on your healing. So you can just have everybody else doing what they do best. Meaning you don't have to keep spamming heals with Rika, spamming resurrections. Just let Raja do it. But if you find you want healing, but you still want a little bit of a challenge, then take Demi. But either way, your options are honestly Raja number 1, Demi number 2, Kyra number 3, Han 4, and Grice 5. It's just, Grice is great. He peaks early game. He's great early game for extra damage when Chaz has yet to really get access to his stupid combos. And he's better early on. But for the most part, no, he's the worst option. And honestly, I imagine there's some modded versions of this game where Elise lives. Or maybe Seth ends up becoming depossessed or something. I don't know. But for the most part, if they were in this, I would say Seth would be the worst one. Depending on what Elise's... what is it? Alice or Elise? I've never pronounced it right. But basically, whatever her, mid and late game tree looked like, I would have to judge it off that if they had coded her to go that far. Since she caps out around level 17, maybe 18, yeah, you'll never ever see her get late game techniques. But she'll probably be number 6. That's a guess, though. That being said, we're gonna look at our, team. I honestly think we need to live a few more levels. I looked at my save from the Let's Play, and we were a few levels shy. Means you had to go, probably. Well, I think the Valhalla fort should be locked off because, yeah. So let's say. All right, let's see. We're gonna check that because it should be locked off. Where is the hydrofoil? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I was actually wrong. This area does not remain locked off. You have to do the quest though, because then it automatically completes. You can still use it for grinding money. However, the final dungeon is a much better one for that. Notice what level it comes back at. He'll have all of his abilities maxed out too. And since everything in the final dungeon is evil, he is absolutely amazing for leveling. You can just set up an anti-evil, just farm until you expend all of it, and then go back out, regenerate, go back in, do it again. So what we're going to do here is, I think we are going to do leveling up off screen real quick and then come back and finish it. So we'll see you soon. Okay, so we've done our leveling. Now, we've gone over to each party member, and yeah. Okay, so we've done our leveling. There's a couple of leveling areas you can go to. You can go back to Valhalla Fortress for honestly a quicker one per hour, so to speak. And with a anti-machine setup, very easy to level up there. It does take a little longer because deep inside the final dungeon there is a rare enemy, which we will try to show when we get to it. Anyway. We're gonna take him because this is the easiest option. Does make this the easiest option. Visit Mile after this. It actually updates. Just talking to people, it's the same thing over and over. So it's extremely unlikely you'll need anything from this town. But note, if you do, there are no missable items here, and you cannot when the end game starts like this, you cannot visit here to buy anything. There'll be nothing you need from there. And you go to the other towns, yeah. But if you go to Piazza, yeah. Piazza will actually respond to it. I'm gonna replenish real quick. Crap. So this is the final dungeon. Well, let's just go backwards. Screw you, game. Why play fair? You don't have to, right? So we're actually going to adjust our anti-evo macro. I would suggest saving this for either the final boss or the special rare boss in here. You save it for the rare boss, use it to level up. Grind out the lower 50s. Anything above 50 is considered luxury because you can comfortably clear the game in the upper 40s. Especially if you bring Raja. This is a bit of a maze, so you can end up going the wrong way. Yeah, it's the wrong one. Oh, and we're also going to show you the special hidden one. There is a hidden macro that you can only get if you get the Magid technique. Doesn't matter what your fourth person is, only the core party member. Get in a fight and then we're going to use that real quick. It'll usually do that much damage. Damage caps at 999 per attack, even for macros. Honestly, at that point in the game, you're probably better off using anything else. It is a hidden macro that can only be accessed with Midget. Okay. So the final boss is about 6 levels down. You get to a dark purple background, you know you're in the final area. It's preceded by a dark, a pulsating orange one. Yeah, this one. So this is actually the area where you start seeing the special spawn more. Let's save. Hopefully we can pull him up. May take some time because he's a very rare one. And this area is also one where you like to spawn in too. Both this one and the previous one is the dark orange. Well, we can just keep reloading until we see him. I want to show this boss. He's a hidden one, but he gives out incredible amounts of XP. And again, you can take a water show. He is a stubborn little one. Like a groundhog. Fine, you want to die so bad, we'll kill you. That's the part of Obsidian, is that you attack an evil creature, wrong chance of one shot via Holy Word. So we're gonna wait here, keep trying to show them, because I do want to show them while we're here. Oof. So some will swear by running around down here, and some will say the upper one. I never really noticed the difference. This one does have a, you know, a little bit longer area, so you don't have to keep moving up and down so much. There we go. So this unfortunately named guy is a very rare spawn here. He's kind of a, he's two things. One, he's probably the biggest source of XP for a non-boss creature in the game, as even the 5 alive will give you a huge amount of XP. Second is he is actually a callback to the very first Phantasy Star, and this is more or less a PS4 version of Dark Falls. Let's beat his ass. Try to use your more plentiful stuff. You do not want to use the big guns on him, unless you are planning on farming him in order to get up to the 40s. Well, not sorry, the 50s. Got about 3,000 hit points or so. I think he really got more closer to, you know, 2,500. I've never really tried to count. Note he hits relatively hard. Keyword relative. And he's down, so he dies pretty quick. 13,000 XP for something that can take you about 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how level up your party is. Catch is you have to find him. He's a rarer spawn, so you can end up fighting a lot of the junk mobs for a long time that can end up depleting your AoE resources. But if you can manage to get him, he's pretty easy, honestly, and there's a crapload of XP. As you can see at this point in the game, that 13,000 is really useful. Hey, anyway, let's finish up the game. Okay, this is the last spot. You'll know you're at the last one because here is a cutscene. So the Profound Darkness is a 3-phase fight. Save your big guns for the final phase. If you have anti-evil macros, save them for the final phase. So for the most part, just use auto attacks and conserve your skills, unless you have a lot of uses. And if you brought Raja, you can just spam TP because he can replenish in battle. We're doing upwards of 700 per turn, which is great. I don't actually know how much hit points the final boss has, but it's probably safe to assume 4,000 or more. Oh, and something I totally forgot. You cannot use a shift on androids, but you really shouldn't need to. Mostly stick to auto attacks and low cost PP for Rune. There we go, phase 1 down. Here's phase 2. Ugly little spud, isn't he? Again, more the same. Auto attacks and heal up as necessary. Ooh, that hit hard. First and second phases are pretty easy. Like, that's kind of the easy, especially considered its final boss. However, third phase is where things get spicy. Notice he is using attacks like the Garuberk Tower Dark Force. It's okay to use a little bit of your stronger stuff, because you're going to be using spamming the anti-evil macros in the final phase, which is the third phase. Damn, we got through that pretty fast. I don't think we got through it this fast back in the Let's Play. Oh no, she's hot! Anyway, here is the final form. This is where you break out the big guns, and this is also in the profound darkness to stop screwing around. It is a battle to the death. Unleash everything. We are doing 1,500. Oh yeah, by the way, she does that. So yeah, if you're doing at least 1,500 per damage per turn, you'll drop her very fast. Ooh. Okay, it's got explode. It's insta kill or all right. Yeah. So this is where you want to start spamming and eliminating the hell out of your dudes and your covers. This is the big fight you want to bring all of those dudes to do. And hope she goes for Wren a lot. Sorry, bringing her up. You have any damage items or healing? This is the fight to use it on. There are no optionals at this point. Final boss is, yeah. He didn't like that too well. After midget, always heal up. And it's by far the absolute scariest thing she has. And even to a party in the 50s, it was still doing an immense amount of damage. Partly because it's random on how much damage it does. Look how much it did to Raja, Ruin, and Wren. Wren is by far the most tanked up person. Yeah. Kind of inconsistent. I think we can safely belt out another anti-evil. Ooh, yes. So she can do that. She basically has only a few attacks. The great auto attack, which is constantly an auto attack. He also has Evil Eye and Midget. She pretty much cycles through all that. Ooh, I hit the wrong one. Well, yeah, she's probably close to death anyway. I remember which one was the one that cures sleep. It almost never comes up. Like there's there it is. There's very few. It's well, honestly, poison is the only actual dangerous stats effect because that one persists through combat. For the most part, the game is, well, Phantasy Star is pretty lax on stats effects. Not like Final Fantasy where there's a lot of really annoying side effects. The stats effects if you don't pay attention. And there it is. He's done. So there it is. You now, after you've slain the Profound Darkness, you completed Phantasy Star IV. And as the timeline goes for the core 4 games, the original 4 games, this marks the absolute defeat of the Profound Darkness. Meaning if there was a Phantasy Star V, then there would have to be either a reboot or a new from some reason or another how the Profound Darkness came back. Because for the most part, done. The final boss form is presenting as female, but I think the Profound Darkness is always meant to be either a he or just gender neutral, like it didn't really matter. As you can see, Alcidion shatters, protects everybody. And at this point is where the Phantasy Star story goes into the MMO, where I believe it's considered an alternate universe. The vague references. Yeah, I remember now. Because Dark Falls is in that, and it's considered a multiverse. MMO is a multiverse. The original games are, yeah. So something that doesn't really get touched on at this point is that one, the Landau's only transport between the planets right now, so that means once everybody goes back to their home planet, they cannot go anywhere else. And two, that because of the systems failing, the planets are reverting. Which means eventually it's going to be only the androids left. And even then they're going to fail. There's a lot of really grim stuff in here that's not talked about much. See? Racha even points out they won't have a spaceship. But anyway, so let's get out of here. Just leave it like that. So, wrap up. Well, Phantasy Star is basically, it's a solid series. It's very, I'm trying to think of the right word. Got a lot of hallmarks of the mid-90s design philosophy for JRPGs. There's a lot of grind in it. And it rewards people who are paying attention. It's kind of like Final Fantasy in that sense. It's harder than Final Fantasy only because Final Fantasy gives you much earlier access to Resurrection. Whereas, as we talked about in the previous session, and at certain points here, this game will gatekeep it until the mid and late game. It'll force you to have it on characters until you get to that point where you can freely buy the items. This does make you more reliant on ends and finding replenish points. But as far as things go, it's not it's not a bad game at all. It's a one I've deeply loved as a kid and played so much of. But thanks to the Sega Genesis collection, you can blow through it in just a few hours. Can't say the same about Final Fantasy games, as even with ones that speed boosts and everything, you're still in there for a long time. And we'll say Phantasy Star is really lacking on side content. And it's hard to tell, is it because of limitations or because of the game design philosophy? As you saw, we only had the 8 side quests, one of which automatically resolves. Well, I honestly, I think the Mile Wrench one would have automatically resolved if you didn't do it or the wrench got wiped out. So yeah, let's just say 2. 2 that will automatically resolve. And yeah, and I hope this has been educational. The game may seem a little daunting because of its very old school RPG, so you're gonna be stuck fighting a lot and have to grind a lot and meeting stat checks. But aside from the ones that I've talked about, they're actually really strong stat checks, like Lashiec and Zio round 2. There's not that many, and there are a few optionals, including the bait at the Anger Tower. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.